What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Le Kenshi back to the new vidéo. Je te parie que tu as pas lu le chiffre. Oh, le gamin, il nous a eu. Je pense qu'il a eu tous ceux qui verront cette vidéo. Personne n'a essayé de lire le chiffre. Bref, le Kenshi, c'est parti pour une vidéo Noël horreur. Je l'espère, c'est vraiment une vidéo flippante. En ce moment, je sais pas, j'aime bien les vidéos flippantes. Je sais pas ce que t'en penses, dis-moi. Let's go! A Christmas Help Horror Story. T'es mal l'accent, mon frère. On n'a pas l'accent anglais? Hein? Est-ce que j'ai pas l'accent anglais, mec? Dude. Balance la
Last
vidéo.
year on Christmas Eve, I was working late. I'm 23. I work in New York City and commute home every day on the train. Since I'm one of the younger ones in the office, I got stuck with one of the worst shifts, so I wasn't able to get home until 5 o'clock. My family had already left a whole hour earlier to go to my cousin's house, so I had to drive alone. After having a quick snack before the half-hour drive, I got back in my car and put my cousin's address into my phone. Halfway through the drive, it started snowing. I got to my cousin's house.
Ok, il rentre chez lui, il y a une chute de neige.
I just made it in time to catch everyone starting dinner. I brought all of my gifts inside and cheerfully said hey to everyone.
Il rapporte les cadeaux chez
I stayed
lui.
until around 11 o'clock. The rest of my family left a little sooner. I stayed an extra half hour or so just to hang out before leaving myself. By the time I was leaving, the ground had accumulated at least 2 feet of snow.
2 pieds de neige.
Done snowing. The drive home was nightmarish. The roads were hardly even plowed, and I had to drive under 20 miles per hour on most roads. The roads were completely dead at this point though, most likely because everyone was smart enough to go home before the snow accumulated. Eventually I turned onto a main road that I'm sure would usually be bustling, but at 11:15 on Christmas Eve night, there wasn't a single car or a single light from the store.
Putain, y a personne dans la rue.
Then I did notice the flashing taillights of one car. It was parked on the side of the road, and the smoke seeping out from its exhaust with the taillights.
Désolé si la traduction c'est pas trop ça, c'est pas moi qui ai
As I
traduit.
got closer, I realized there was somebody next to the car waving their hand in the air. I assumed something was wrong and they needed help. So, me being the good Samaritan I am,
Aidez-moi, s'il vous plaît!
When I opened my door, the guy approached me immediately, barely even giving me time to step out. He was an average-sized man, probably 5'10", 180 pounds. He spoke in a very demanding voice, asking me if I know anything about fixing an engine. I told him I didn't know much about cars. The guy responded very quickly to everything I said. He told me it's fine. He went inside of his car
Flippant un peu le mec quand même.
popped open his trunk, came back out and told me to just wait by the trunk for a second. I had no idea what he wanted me to do. I was really confused. He walked over to the front of his car, and I heard him open the hood. I couldn't see anything he was doing since the trunk was blocking my view, and the loud wind of the snowstorm overpowered any small noises he might have been making. I put my hands on the back of the car and leaned my body in anticipation, when suddenly I heard 3 or 4 quick and aggressive footsteps in the snow behind me before I was pushed into the trunk.
Why?
The man tried to close the trunk on me, but I kicked my feet up in resistance and held it up. I was able to overpower him and kick the trunk open completely. As I took advantage of the few seconds I had to get out of the trunk, I took out my keys. He tried to grab me now, and I dug my house key right into his neck. He fell to his knees, and his scream echoed down the deserted street. I was in my car and halfway down the road before he could even get up from his knees.
C'est flippant, t'as une histoire comme ça.
I called 911 and reported the guy. I came back in 10 minutes to find blue and red lights illuminating the windows of the deserted stores. The police held him until the ambulance arrived for him. I watched the whole thing, and nothing ever felt better in my life. I got home safely half an hour later and told my family everything. I was still very shaken that Christmas, and this remains possibly the most horrific thing I've ever experienced.
Chaud. Bref, et Kenshi, c'est la fin de cette vidéo. Je sais que la traduction, c'était pas trop ça, mais bon, je pense que vous avez compris la plupart. Donc voilà, c'est un mec qui est rentré, genre, pour fêter Noël avec sa famille. Après, je sais plus pourquoi, il y a eu un truc, sa famille n'était pas chez elle, donc il est sorti. Et après, c'est là où il a rencontré le mec qui était sur le côté de la route, qui lui a fait des appels en mode ouais arrête-toi et tout. Après ils ont parlé en mode ouais est-ce que vous y connaissez genre pour tout ce qui est moteur, fixation, tout ça. Après il a dit ouais qu'il s'y connaît pas trop. Après il est parti vers l'avant de la voiture et le mec il l'a pas vu comme tu as pu le voir. Et après il s'est assis, enfin il s'est pas assis, genre il s'est mis vers le coffre et tout. Et après le mec il l'a poussé dans le coffre, il a réussi à sortir, il a mis la clé là je crois dans le cou, il l'a blessé. Et la clé, ou je sais pas, il l'a blessé en tout cas. Et il a réussi à se relever et tout. Et après, le mec, il est reparti et tout. Putain, c'est chaud. T'imagines, t'as une... Ouais, c'est une agression, quoi. C'est une agression qu'il a eue. Moi, je pensais que c'était vraiment un truc genre horreur... comment dire, genre fantôme ou esprit qu'elle allait avoir, tu vois. Je m'attendais pas à une vidéo comme ça, en fait. Tu vois. Mais bon, c'est bien, tu vois, des petites vidéos animées comme ça. Dis-moi dans les commentaires ce que t'en penses de cette histoire. Et franchement, on va pas se mentir, les Kenshi, c'est chaud. Imagine, tu te fais agresser comme ça, genre la veille de Noël ou bien la veille du jour de l'an. Tu vois, c'est chaud. Comment dire? Ça reste gravé à vie, tu vois. Tu vas jamais oublier. Bref, à la prochaine pour de prochaines vidéos de Kenshi. Peace!
Got the bezel, had to switch my schedule on my dick, she Lego, never Lego. Him, I stuck up on me, so I call it Velcro. Till I need my dinero pendejo. Hit my metro if it's about the peso, like it's Go Diego, make it right on schedule. Got the pistol on me with the dick, extend the bitches in the back just like a fucking echo. Hey, that bitch told me you got pencil dick. She grip on my dick like a selfie stick. I got a big gun, I need help with it. To wet your babe up, Michael fell with it.